Sweet. This is an unreleased song called Bella. It's about my dog because she's getting old. But yeah, we should release it as a band soonish.
Alright, so this is Music for Mental, sitting down with Trav. Thanks for sitting down with us, man. So this whole thing is just about, talking to artists about how they dealt with COVID and what sort of impact it had on their music career. So first of all, I'll just get you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Trav. I'm Travis Bryant. I play in Circle Person. We're sort of like a Australian alternative folk rock sort of band. Just a three-piece band, and we're all from Melbourne, down the southeast. And we've been playing together for like 7 or 8 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how was COVID for you guys, like as a band?
It was pretty shit because we had a lot of momentum before the pandemic happened, and obviously we weren't able to catch up or practice properly for like 9 months more or less with a few breaks. So it was just a stall, you know. We lost a lot of time, and we've managed to get back on the horse, but yeah, artistically it was just kind of like just a wet blanket, you know. Wasn't getting a whole lot of inspiration, didn't get a lot done during that time. Like nothing really like irreversible happened, you know, like we pulled through and we're still making music now, but yeah, it was just sort of like a long break that we didn't want to take, but we had to. Yep. You know what I mean?
So as far as like, so you didn't really get any writing or any of that sort of stuff, like you didn't find that some people I know the lockdown helped them in their kind of having a chance to step back and write more. You didn't find that for yourself?
Not really. I mean, I find I'm sort of more productive when I'm busy, you know, so sitting around, I got really obsessed with gardening, which I think heaps of people did over that period, and I just spent all time just like pretty much looking after plants and whatever, just hanging out with my family. And yeah, so I don't know, I was still playing guitar, but I think, because I wasn't very busy, I sort of didn't have a whole lot of drive, and also just not a whole lot of stimulating shit going on, you know, like not a whole lot of inspiration getting around. Like we were sort of finishing things off here and there with recording, because we do it all at home. It's like a DIY kind of operation, but didn't really make any like major strides or write any awesome new songs or anything, you know what I mean? It was sort of just like sitting around sort of waiting.
Yep. For a lot of people, the politics of COVID like got to them and stuff. Were you one of those people that got sucked into all the conspiracy theory stuff or anything like that?
A little bit. There was not really. I know a lot of people who are into like conspiracy theories and stuff, even people in my family. So I had a lot of like crazy theories flying around, and I sort of like got kind of sucked down the rabbit hole a little bit. Like at one point, I was sort of questioning. I'm very distrustful of the government, and like most people are, most young people anyway. So I sort of, you know, I did entertain the ideas a little bit, but I didn't fully get sucked down it. You know, it's a bit, it's kind of hard to like see how the rest of the world's been coping with it, and then just still believe that it's somehow some massive kind of organised conspiracy. I think that's kind of like ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, I did sort of start getting sucked down it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think plenty of people did. It was a weird time with the protests and everything. It was hard not to get sucked in somewhere. And how about like a lot of people, you know, had issues with like, you know, self-medication, drinking too much, things like that. You know, how did you deal mentally with everything?
I always like drink alcohol, kind of like have a pretty chill relationship with it, but I think because we had nothing to do, it sort of became like an everyday thing, you know, not getting drunk every day, but just like 2 or 3 beers, and I switched to wine like halfway through because I was getting fat from all the beer, and so it wasn't really good, but I didn't get sucked down too hard into it. I mean, I feel more for other people who went into it with a substance abuse issue, or maybe didn't have as much family around as I did. Just to keep my head above water, you know. But yeah, I didn't get too bad, but it was definitely every day. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, as long as like I think that's pretty cool that you know were able to identify that at least and be like, all right, I'm doing this a bit more unusual.
Yeah.
And for some people, obviously, it became a real issue. How did you find the like music and stuff as far as like listening to new music or anything like that? Like some people sort of have said to me that they got into artists they wouldn't usually get into and stuff because they just had more time and kind of got bored of listening to the same things. Like, how about yourself?
Yeah, like I didn't really listen to a whole lot of music because I usually listen to it in the car, or like if I'm like going for a run or exercising or whatever. And I just sort of like didn't really do a whole lot of that kind of stuff. So I didn't really actually dedicate much time to listening to music beyond like walking the dog or whatever. So I found it a bit like it was kind of hard to listen to music because I always multitask with it. Like I'm not the kind of person that can sit there and like listen to an album and just do nothing and soak it in. I don't know. Like I need to be doing something at the same time.
Yeah.
Bella wants to hang out with you.
You can go across the room.
Yeah, she's chill. But yeah, so not really. I mean, I just pretty much. I was listening to a whole lot of Jeff Buckley, like trying to learn his music, and so there was a little bit of new stuff, but yeah, it was mainly just stuff I'm familiar with as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like I guess you've already sort of answered this, but the for some artists, they found COVID to be like a really good thing for their career in a way because it kind of gave them a break. For you, obviously, it sounds like it was more of like overall it was a negative impact on your music.
Mm. Yeah, it definitely was. Like, there wasn't really much good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was lucky in my situation because I live at home with my siblings and my mum, and I had a lot of family around at the time, and we were all, hanging out. So it wasn't really that torturous for me, like on an emotional level. But in terms of art, like it was just a massive waste of time that is really sort of unavoidable for someone who like primarily makes music in a band. And like we write together and everything, and sort of the energy we have to have that exchange of energy to create art. It was kind of like hard to keep the momentum of that up when I'm just like at home by myself. There's no one here that I can really jam with. Like my sister plays a ukulele and whatever, but we jam a little bit, but we don't really write music together. So yeah, I would say it wasn't really good in any way. But it could have been a lot worse. Like I can acknowledge, I'm grateful for my situation that it wasn't worse than it was.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's really cool that you can be aware that you're luckier than some people and stuff. I think a lot of people have fallen into that woe is me sort of situation, no matter what situation you're in. And I think that's really cool that you can take a step back and be like, it sucks, but I still had it pretty good.
Yeah.
And as far as like going out and like getting back into gigging and stuff, how's that been for you? Have you started gigging again yet, or?
A little bit. I started playing at open mic nights and stuff, like at the Elwood Lounge in Elwood. I've played there quite a bit since we got to get back into it, just to practice playing in front of people and things like that. We haven't really played a gig as a band since like maybe a year and a half ago, or a bit less maybe, I'm not sure. But we're hoping to play some gigs soon. Just had a lot of shit going on lately. Even though we released an album, we're trying to look forward instead of back. So we're still working on recording, and we've just got such a massive backlog of music. But I think it was good going back to playing live music. It was really nice to see everyone coming back after such a long break, and people were really enthusiastic just to be at a venue listening to live music and hanging out with their strangers and their friends and whatever, and just being part of that atmosphere. I found it was really busy at the pub for one thing, and just the people were really into it. Now it's sort of like settled back to normal, and people still attending like they always were. But it was really nice to see like that really massive rush of everyone going back and soaking up some like live music. It was pretty cool to see that people still enjoy it, even though it's a lot different now than it was a few decades ago. But I think there's still a massive place of live music in people's hearts. I think it was nice to see the energy when we all got to come back and enjoy it again.
Yeah, I think there was definitely a feeling of sort of almost more excitement and people sort of appreciating it more. And I think people missed live music more than they even realised. I think it's one of those don't know what you got till it's gone sort of thing, especially living in a place like Melbourne. I think we've I think a lot of people sort of take it for granted because you can go out to almost any bar, almost any other week and find a band or find some sort of music. So yeah, I definitely think I get what you mean with that that energy of when the gigs first sort of opened up again.
Yeah.
And finally, where can people listen to your music? Like, what have you got anything else coming out soon? Or
Yeah. Well, we released our debut album, Quiet Mind and Clarity, which was like 3 weeks ago now. So that's on Spotify and whatever. And we've got some new music coming out also. We're working on a lot of recordings and should be dropping another single in a few weeks, I reckon. Or maybe in a month or two, I'm not sure. It always usually takes longer than you think it will, but yeah. So the band's called Circle Person. Check out like the Facebook, the Instagram. We've got all the links there, and hopefully we've got some big stuff coming. Hopefully play a few gigs soon, which would be really nice because I've definitely missed playing gigs with a full band.
Yep. Awesome. Well, cheers. Thanks for doing this, man.
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it, man.
I walk away, no one ever holds my space like you do. And through all mistakes, light my way in the gloom. It's an endless day when slowly shades your pastel heart to black and grey. We go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Every time I walk away, no one ever holds my space like you do. And through all mistakes, light my way in the gloom. It's an endless day when slowly shades your pastel heart to black and grey. We go.
Thank you very much.